really have to keep doing these. Can I stop now? I mean, come on, come on! Hi guys. This is my top 10 movies of 1996. Number 10 is, yeah, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to get straight to the name of the movie, and I'm not going to dilly-dally and, make people try to guess or fast forward and skip ahead, and then they skip ahead, but they don't, they click on the timestamp in the description, but they don't actually get the name of the movie, and then you watch me talk about it, but all they want really is just to know that I have said the name of the movie at that number. Okay, in this number 10, we're not at number 1 yet. Not yet. We're not that lucky. Number 10 is Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise. It's actually got so many quotable, memorable moments that I think a lot of people don't realize they're all from this one movie. You got, show me the money, and then you've got, you had me at hello.
You had me at hello.
You got Bridget Jones's Diary in the movie. Renee Zellweger. Is that her last name? Zellweger. I guess it is. It's a rom-com. It's very feel-good. Number 10, Jerry Maguire. Number 9 is Independence Day. Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman. His presidential speech in Independence Day, a lot of people confuse as an actual real speech that a real president said, but no, it's not. It's about aliens arriving on the planet, not just his speech. That's what the movie's about.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Space battle at the end. Well, kind of. It's on Earth, but spaceships at least. There are aliens in it, so if that's what you're looking for, I know there's a lot of sci-fi movies that tease that there'll be aliens, and maybe they'll show up at the end. In this case, they actually do. Roland Emmerich, he loves the end of the world, and this was definitely one of those end of the world movies. Oh, the special effects, actually, especially the practical ones. I know there's a war of practical versus, CGI or whatever, but in this, the model is exploding. Is it the White House? That looks awesome. And then they're blowing up through the streets of, is it New York? It's all great. It looks amazing. Hasn't aged at all. In fact, those explosions are better than so many explosions in other movies. Number 8, another alien movie. In fact, 1996 might just be the year for alien movies. Okay, I'll get to the point. Space Jam. Space Jam. Everyone who grew up in the 90s loves Space Jam, okay? I grew up watching Warner Brothers cartoons, Bugs Bunny. Taz, I thought I was Taz, Tasmanian Devil. I don't know why. I would spin around. I'd be spinning around everywhere and be like, I'm fast. I'm fastest. I haven't seen the new one. I will never see the new one. I don't need to see the new one until I do the top 10 list of movies of that year. When I do that, of course I will watch it, because I have to watch every movie released in the year to be able to make these lists. Otherwise, what if that one just random movie with 3.6 on IMDb that I never heard of and has 0 views and is only available on a burned Blu-ray DVD that I found in a third world country market that was sold to me for 500 Australian dollars. Only then can I watch them all. And that's what I do. I actually travel the world making sure I can find all of these burnt Blu-ray discs of every movie that has never been heard of that's just somehow listed on IMDb. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So I have to have watched them all. They all have to be on IMDb, released on the year. I've said this in other videos, but I'm just reiterating it for those who don't know the rules. Now you know. That's my number 10. No, it's not. That's my number 8, Space Jam. Number 7, The Cable Guy. Not the most popular Jim Carrey movie. It's also got Ben Stiller. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. It's cool. Fight me. It's like comedically dark, though. It's a bit stalkerish. Or it's a stalker movie, basically.
I'm here for you! Don't do that, Jesus Christ!
It was not very well received and still isn't. Most people would probably say it's Jim Carrey's one of his worsts at the time. He's done really bad ones since then. Number 6 is Scream. Scream 1, not Scream 6. because Scream 6 is also a movie that came out much later. But no, this is actually the first one. Scream 1 at number 6. Scream is a parody movie. It's silly that they parodied it with a movie called Scary Movie, but they did, and that's pretty funny too. So this is aged better than probably most of these Scream movies. It does feel old, right? It's about, you get a phone call, right, on your landline. I don't even think they had mobiles in the movie. It's iconic horror villain. So many people avoid horror movies, right? They think, oh, they're too scary, or all horror movies are bad, so why would I ever watch one? Yes, it's technically a horror movie, but it's more meta. It's definitely a comedy, and it's more so just clever. Like, it's got movie references, twists, too much explanation maybe at the end. It's still good. It's definitely not the best horror movie. It's not the best movie of 96. That's why it's at my 6th spot. The year's 96. It's Scream 1 at the 6th spot. If it was Scream 6 at the 6th spot in 96, that would make sense because it's 666, evil, horror, you know. But it's not. It's Scream 1. Now we're going to number 5. Fargo. I actually saw the first season of the TV series before the movie. It's an early Coen Brothers movie. I love Coen Brothers. The first Coen Brothers thing I ever saw was Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Love that movie. It's so zany and out there. This movie is also zany and out there, but it's in a world of its own. Very good acting from Frances McDormand. So many amazing moments in this movie. William H. Macy, very good when he's just perfectly cast. And in this, he's perfectly cast. I believe we're in Minnesota. Their accents, it just felt like its own world. That's my number 5, Fargo. Number 4, this is controversial, I know. It's Twister. Okay, it's Twister. Yes, I put it above Fargo. Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Did you know that? You seen this? I'm sure the CGI hasn't aged well. You know, they don't look real, but sometimes it doesn't matter if it looks real or not. If it still sells it, whether it's the characters' reactions to it or the fake CGI cow that's being sucked up by the tornado.
Cow.
Oh, it's just the feeling. I remember when I watched this as a very young child, I thought it was terrifying. It traumatized me. Every plume of smoke I would see anywhere, I thought was a tornado. There was a big fire once when I was a kid, and I went out the back, and I was terrified because I thought it was a giant tornado headed towards my house. And it was. It sucked me up, and I went flying as a child, round and round and round, just like Taz. I died, but now I'm alive again, just like Jesus. For a natural disaster, storm, whatever movie, it's fun. It's very fun. They're making a new one. That's a terrible idea. Number 3 is Mission Impossible 1. Right? It's the first one, right? Came out in 96, huh? That's good. That's really good. So many memorable moments, like hanging from the ceiling. All that stuff. Tom Cruise. It's very exciting. Spies, it's like James Bond, but more American-y. Number 2 is Trainspotting 1. There is actually a Trainspotting 2. But no, this is Trainspotting. I was in Scotland when it came out. I was way too young, and I didn't watch it until I was in Australia when I watched it as a teenager for the first time. A movie called Trainspotting, and it's about trains. It's kind of like Thomas the Tank Engine. So it's just, all these friendly Scottish trains. They all have faces on the front, and they get together and they inject heroin into their bloodstream and they hallucinate. There's shit in bed sheets and it flies everywhere. Thomas the Tank Engine has to go down the toilet to get his pills, and there's a baby and the baby's crawling on the ceiling. There's no trains. Ewan McGregor running around. Robert Carlyle. He is terrifying.
And try not to get involved. That's what he got off on.
He's an amazing character actor. He played Hitler, and I think I watched the behind the scenes of that DVD, and he was character acting as Hitler. Is that allowed? But either way, he's not Hitler in Trainspotting. He's worse. Let's be real. He is worse than Hitler in Trainspotting. If you put him in charge of the Nazi army, I actually really like the sequel. I don't think it got much attention when it came out. It's really hard to do a sequel, especially to a movie like this, with the same cast. It's the best they could do for a sequel of a movie like this, because it's really a standalone movie. It's a Danny Boyle movie. He is an excellent filmmaker. 28 Days Later, Sunshine. No one thinks Ewan McGregor's a bad actor. But have you seen the new Obi-Wan show? Go back and watch Trainspotting, okay? It feels real, it's raw, it's dirty. And speaking of all those raw, dirty things, we get to my number one spot. Here we go, another non-English speaking movie. It's Pusher, baby! Nicholas Winding Refn, Mads Mikkelsen. What the hell is Pusher? It's a Danish movie. They were just killing it in the late 90s and 2000s. I don't think they had many or any permits. They're filming the streets, running around at nighttime. It's a crime movie. I think world building is huge, especially when it's not through exposition. It's just the look and the feel. It's a bit messed up at times. If you've seen other Nicholas Winding Refn movies, you can understand. His movies get really messed up. So what more can I say about Pusher? Well, here's one big fact about it, is that it's cool. There was a movement, they call it Dogma 95. It's these few Denmark writer-directors that would film, usually without permits, very low budget, things that you're not supposed to, say or do in the movies. Lars von Trier's he's got to be the most controversial director of all time, right? I love some of his movies. Some of his movies are really hard to watch. He's not the director of Pusher, though. Pusher is directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. You've probably actually seen a Nicholas Winding Refn movie before, or at least heard of Drive, for example. Drive's probably my favorite of his movies. He did a really interesting Viking movie, Valhalla Rising. Way art house, is nothing like your standard Viking movie. I'm sure other people have compared him to Quentin Tarantino, whether it's for the violence or the, unique dialogue or storytelling. Pusher is set in the current day of 96. It's bleak. It's bleak, especially, we think of Scandinavia as being this utopia. It's actually sort of a trilogy. I believe it's the first in the trilogy. Oh, here's a good callback to Quentin Tarantino. They're definitely not in chronological order. They don't follow one main character in all three. They go in and out of the characters. In fact, from movie to movie, the characters kind of change, almost as if it's an alternative universe. You can watch any one of the Pusher movies, and you don't have to have seen the other ones. You can watch them in any order. You can start with the first one, watch the second, watch the third, you then go back, and you'll see them differently because you'll have learned more about the characters. I don't know if there's any other trilogy quite like that. Also, I just have to mention Kim Bodnia. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but my goodness, he's great. He's a great actor. That's it. That's my number one of 96. Thank you.